I've been attending transition meetings every opportunity I get. I have a career at Penn State Hazleton, which keeps me very busy. So sometimes I'm not able to attend every single transition meeting, but I make a good effort to. And I've been reading every story that's written about Luzerne County, about the budget. I've been talking to people. I've been talking to taxpayers, which has been extremely helpful to me, listening to their concerns. And probably, I should mention, talking about their hopes, too, for the future of the county.
And what are their hopes?
Their hopes are a fresh start with the new beginning, integrity restored, some hope, and the young people are looking for jobs. Working people are looking for jobs. Jobs meaning maybe some opportunities to bring some new industry in. And our senior citizens are looking for, besides integrity restored, our seniors are looking for some kind of stability when it comes to taxes and pay down of our county debt.
Have you attended, or how many of the transition committee meetings have you
I'm just estimating maybe 5.
Okay.
You know, I didn't keep track, so I'm not quite sure. Mm-hmm.
Do you have a sense of whether that transition committee is on pace with what they need to do?
I think they're doing an excellent job. I think they're very diligent in what they do. I think they take pains to be sure that they're carrying out their duties and responsibilities.
Do you have any concerns with the actions that they've taken so far?
No, I attended one meeting in which they seemed to be kind of on the cusp of making some moves in regard to disclosing the names of applicants for county manager, but cooler heads prevailed, and they stepped back from that. I'm very happy. I think at this point it's too early to reveal names of county council, of county manager candidates, executive, rather.
Excuse me, this is Mark Reddish.
Hello, how are you?
If you're elected, how much time do you expect you would need to dedicate to the council?
A great deal of time to the council, a huge amount of time to the council. As I say, I have a full-time job at Penn State Hazleton, and I'm there all day, every day. So I would imagine I'd be devoting many evenings and probably most weekends to county council work.
Do you think that it's appropriate for county council members to have a presence in the courthouse daily or weekly, or in what way should they?
Well, in my case, it's impossible for me to have a daily presence in the courthouse. I mean, I'm sure there would be perhaps days in which I might have to appear for one reason or the other. I'm not retired. I'm a working person, so I can't see myself coming to the courthouse every day. I can see myself, when necessary, going to the courthouse, and certainly I can see myself attending every single meeting.
Do you think other council members should have that presence?
No, the day-to-day operations of the county should be left to our county manager, our county executive. That's his or her role. Now, if we hire a person who's competent, a person who knows his or her job and responsibilities, we should allow the manager to manage.
If serving on council, would you approve the appointment of a relative to a county authority, board, or commission?
No, I would not approve that. Mm-mm.
Do you have a skill area or expertise that you would bring to the council, something specific like budgeting or legal?
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a background. I'm the former owner of a small business. I know how to budget. I know how to manage. I know what to look for when we need to hire people. I have a background in liberal arts, in writing, and I think I'm quite good at the ability to read a document, understand its content quickly, and act on whatever needs to be done. I've served on many search committees, I'm happy to say, at Penn State, so I'm pretty good at decision making.
Is there a specific job skill or characteristic that you think would be helpful to council?
I'm very tenacious and I'm very optimistic. And people tell me I'm really good at arguing. I spent part of my education with the Jesuits, and I learned how to hold up my end in argument. So I think I'm quite good at that. But I do it in a way that is very respectful.
Do you have any specific suggestions of how Luzerne County could reduce its spending to save money, and on the flip side, any ways to increase potential revenue?
I'm thinking perhaps we can investigate other revenue streams. I think that would be a wonderful start to getting a handle on the county debt. And you're probably going to say, well, Jane, what are those revenue streams? I don't know. I really don't know. I have some ideas, but they need further development. What I don't want to do is raise taxes.
Okay. Any other ideas on budgeting or spending?
I think we have to be very careful what we spend our money on. I don't like the idea, and here's an example. We had a county-wide reassessment fairly recently, and a great deal of money was spent outsourcing that, giving that project to a company. I believe we have people within county, I know we have people who work in the assessor's office who are trained at assessing and reassessing property. Why not use them? And we have some marvelous real estate appraisers who maintain businesses in the county. Why not give them the business?
What do you feel the county's responsibility is for funding outside organizations, things such as public libraries?
Well, of course, I believe in funding public libraries. I believe it's very important to maintain the public good. However, we are facing very, very difficult economic times right now, and we're not going to be able to spend a large amount of money on libraries. I wish we had the money, but we don't. I would work hard to find perhaps alternate sources of funding. I realize a lot of the funding from the Commonwealth is dried up now. I know that. But I believe there are still grants available through maybe private foundations and perhaps the federal government. We can tap some of those sources.
How about things, recreational things such as Moon Lake Park? Any thoughts on that?
I'm very concerned about Moon Lake Park. I love the idea of a recreation area that's available to everyone who lives in Luzerne County. However, it's very expensive, obviously, to maintain Moon Lake Park. I'd like to look towards perhaps, maybe approaching industry for naming rights. That might be a source of income. We obviously can't allow it to lie fallow. It's a gem in Luzerne County. It's a problem. We need to work on that problem.
Okay. Regarding the county workforce, what do you think is a reasonable fringe benefit package for county employees regarding vacation or sick days, how many they should have, and should they be able to carry them over?
I can't address that. I have no idea what their package is now, and I would really need to consult with professionals when it comes to that. I'm not going to just throw a number out there because that would be silly of me to do so without some kind of base of knowledge.
Any questions, Mr. Bloom? If elected to council, do you bring a particular issue that you're concerned about?
Yes, I bring several issues I'm concerned about. Besides the idea of bringing honesty and transparency back to county government, I'm really concerned about jobs and the lack of opportunity in Luzerne County. I would love to find a way to attract business and industry to this area. I'd love to set up a greater partnership with the municipalities when it came to bringing more job opportunities. I would love to encourage small businesses. Being a former small business owner, I understand the demands that are placed on small businesses. And I'd like to explore some ways to encourage small business development in this county. I'm also very concerned about crime in Luzerne County. I want every family to feel safe and to go about their business without fear. And this is another opportunity for the county to maybe work a little closer with area municipalities and area police departments to form more of a partnership.
It's interesting, we just had Jackie Russell Carroll yesterday, and there are some partnerships. Are there specific areas you think we need to increase, or other things that we could do? Because they're doing some of that now.
Right. I'll give you an example of something I just heard about. I believe it's Wilkes-Barre City and Plains Township and perhaps Hanover, who've just teamed up for emergency medical service to help each other with that. I think that's marvelous. In Mountaintop, excuse me, there is, I believe, a joint agreement with emergency medical services among the different communities in Mountaintop. I'd like that to expand, and I'd love to see more of that.
What do you think that the county can do to facilitate that?
I think we can sit at the table as interested parties and bring all the players to the table and just tell them we've experienced a bit of a population growth in Luzerne County. So we have to take care of our citizens. Let's find more ways to work together, to share services, for the common good.
Do you have specific ideas of how the county council could help small business get started or continue?
Yes. One problem that, now I'm coming at this as a former owner of a small business and also a former owner of a real estate company. In many municipalities, in many of our smaller municipalities, the regulations differ as far as maybe expanding a business, putting up a building, zoning differences. I think if we went to some professional uniform laws there, when a company was coming in from another location or even a small business wanted to expand, the rules of the road would be very, very clear. And that would open up opportunity for every municipality.
If you were elected to council, would you want to serve as the chairperson, and what characteristics would you be looking for in the chair?
Oh, I'd be honored to serve as chairperson, but that would be obviously up to my fellow council members. I'm looking for a steady hand. I'm looking for someone who is very professional, someone who is a really good communicator, and someone who can work with people of different opinions. And golly, I'm just thinking about the situation in Washington, and I see very little evidence of people working together there. And I certainly don't want that situation to develop in Luzerne County. With all the different personalities we have, I think the chairperson has to work hard to form a team.
Given the media interest in county government and what goes on in the county, do you think that there should be what's the appropriate way for the council to communicate with not just the Times Leader, but all media outlets? Should there be a spokesperson? And if there is, should council people still be able to speak with the media?
I would love to have a spokesperson. I would love that spokesperson be one of the council people, actually. We can't afford to hire anybody, hire a new employee just to do the bidding of the council. I would love one of our council people who's a skilled communicator to step up to the plate and do that and be the spokesperson. That doesn't mean that council members would not be able to speak to the press. I mean, my golly, they sure can. But I would like official responses perhaps to be handled, as an example, press releases, to be handled by a designated spokesperson from the council.
How much do you expect to spend on your campaign?
Well, I'm not quite sure. Right now, I would think perhaps $3,000. Well, no, maybe not quite that much. Maybe closer to $2,000.
$2,000.
That's really, really rough. I haven't spent much money yet.
Tell me about how the campaign has been going as far as the collaboration with the other candidates.
I think it's been going very well. I think we have a lot in common. I'm running closely with 3 other candidates. We have been together now for several months, so we really know each other. We know our strengths. And I think it's going very well. I think we've formed a really good team.
Is the $2,000, is that, that's just what you've collected?
Oh, no, not me. I'm thinking that would be as much money as my part of the campaign would take for things like signs, you know.
So that's
and
what's coming into the Working Families Group, and then it's divvied
I
out?
have no idea how, I don't get that involved. We have a PAC, and people make contributions. That figure is off the top of my head. That's what I would spend if I were needing to fund my
I
campaign.
guess if you're, what are you going to have on your campaign report? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Okay, I'm not sure yet. It's too early to tell what we're going to have on our campaign report. As far as an exact figure, I'm
We're
not
asking
sure.
everyone the same question, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Some people question the Working Families, how they initially there was a concern because the Working Family candidates were talking about preserving jobs at the county, and how do you justify being a member of a union that wants to preserve jobs, and maybe being on council where you might have to eliminate jobs for taxpayers because you're an advocate for taxpayers?
I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to advocate for taxpayers. I'm certainly not, listen, I'm a big believer in people service, customer service. I don't, not going to go in there and say we're going to eliminate jobs, because what's going to happen is we're going to have more unemployed people in Luzerne County. We need more employment in the county, not less employment in the county. I mean, the commissioners have outsourced, what is it, the tax claim office, I believe. They've done that. Has that really tremendously helped the budget? I don't think so. The commissioners are talking about restructuring bond debt, I believe, in the last few days. Things are very bad in the county. I think going in and doing a knee-jerk where we're just going to fire employees, who's going to do the work? Can't do that. We've got to be fair and just about this. I want to help working families, not hurt them.
Any other questions?
You mentioned not having time to be at the courthouse on a daily basis, and I'm just wondering, I think it's possible you can get a dynamic where there are some people who will have the time on the council and end up meddling a lot more than other council members getting more influence. If that happens, is there some way that you could counterbalance that or prevent that from happening, or is that an okay thing to have happen?
Golly, I don't see how I can prevent other people from hanging out at the courthouse if they want to. Why they would do that, I don't know. I have no idea why they would do that. And I do understand there are quite a few retired people, I guess, who have the time to do that very thing. If I saw that happening, I would bring it up at a council meeting, and I'd talk about it, and we'd get out a copy of the rules of the road and say, listen, this is the job of the county manager. We're not going to micromanage this county. We're going to hire someone professionally to manage this county.
Anything else? No?
One thing I forgot to mention, you asked me about my priorities. One more thing, I'm very concerned about senior citizens. My mom is a senior. All of her neighbors are seniors, and I'm watching the struggle that seniors have paying for medicine, paying their taxes, worried about the inflation and what's going on with the cost of food. I'm going to advocate for senior citizens, and I'm going to explore ways to help them after I'm elected. I don't really think they have a spokesperson. I want to be their spokesperson.
some of those things are obviously beyond, well, I think they're beyond the control of county council, medication, some taxes, food and inflation.
Mhm.
How would you advocate?
Perhaps other services, we can make other services available to them. Perhaps we can explore other grants, other possibilities for bringing in services. My mom recently broke her hip, and I've had an opportunity to watch up close about services needed for senior citizens. I've had an opportunity to work with the Office of Aging as an example, and they are strapped for people who can provide services. I would like to find a way to help agencies help seniors.
Are you satisfied with the way this meeting has gone?
Yes.
And the questions you asked were fair?
Yes, I believe so.
Is there anything that you would like to emphasize, anything that we may have glossed over that you would like to emphasize?
Well, I'm a candidate of the people. I'm not a professional politician. I got into this whole thing because I really want to help people, and I'm very concerned about the future of the county. I've got 3 children. I've got 5 grandchildren, and we've got to turn things around. We've got to get a handle on the debt, and we've just have to give the county a fresh start in a new direction. We've got to go in a professional direction, and I'm hoping the county voters place their faith in me.